So hello guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, your girl Barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. Senators are servants of their people. They are representatives and the mouthpieces of their constituents. The whole idea of democracy involves the participation of the people in their own governance. Everyone should hold a stake in their own political affairs. How so can they then? Will everybody in the community march to the Senate to air their views, their opinions, and their grievances? Apparently not. What they do instead is to nominate a person. Oh yeah, go and talk for us. Go and advocate for us. Go there and voice out our interests. You will do this first for 4 years. Okay, that's the first tenure. And if you do well, if you represent us well, we will vote you for another 4 years and another 4 years. So a senator does not occupy that position on his or her own accord. They do so on the mandate of their people. Yes, I know that many African countries are so corrupt that this original plan has been bastardized. It is now a position where governors go and retire, a seat reserved for the highest bidder. But that was not the original plan. So what then happens when the people discover that, oh, maybe we made a mistake after all. This person is neither representing us nor our interests. They are ignoring key issues affecting us. They have broken their campaign promises. They are immersed in misconduct. They are not engaging in legislative sessions, and they are not connecting with us, with their constituents that put them there. We do not want him or her to represent us again. So what do we do? A recall. A recall is a constitutional or legal process through which voters can remove an elected senator from office before the end of their tenure. And the process for a recall is clearly outlined in section 69 of our constitution. That section provides the framework at which this can happen. And so you may ask, how does it start? How can this be achieved? What are the steps? A senator's recall begins with a petition. Now, in Nigeria, before election day, at least 30 days before the day of election, people desirous of casting their votes must go through a process called voters registration. You register, you get issued a voters card, and these people who have their voters cards are called registered voters. They are the only ones that can vote. To begin this recall process, over 50% of these registered voters must sign the petition for the recall. So more than half of these people that have been registered by INEC, that are in INEC's database for that constituency, must sign that petition. When I say sign, it can be thumbprint. So you know the illiteracy is very high in Nigeria. So a thumbprint will also constitute a signature for all legal intents and purposes. They must append their mark on the petition indicating that they want that senator out. So if there are 100,000 registered voters in that constituency that INEC has in its database, at least 50,001, because the constitution was very clear, more than half. It didn't say half. So at least 50,001 of those registered voters must sign the petition for a recall. And that petition must not only state that the people do not want that senator to represent them anymore, it must expressly state the reason. So it can state that the senator is not representing their interests well, or absenteeism or misconduct. The reason must be stated. And take notes, the people that can sign this petition are only registered voters, not unregistered voters. You cannot disenfranchise yourself from your civic duty of voting and you now want to exercise your right of recall. No, you must be a registered voter, and you must be a registered voter at that senatorial district, not another one. I hope you're following. After this petition has been initiated and signed, it is then taken to the INEC. I will not assume that everybody is Nigerian here. The INEC is our electoral body. It is an acronym for the Independent National Electoral Commission. So it is the commission responsible for conducting elections in Nigeria. So that petition is formally submitted to the INEC. And the people will say, Oga INEC, we no do again. Promote that person for us. And so what happens next? INEC will receive this petition with the signatures, and they will conduct an authentication exercise on them to ensure that they are real and they are valid. They are to compare this information that has been submitted to them with the information in their database of that constituency. So they're supposed to compare the full names, their VIN, voters identification numbers, date of birth, polling units, signature match. They have their records. Remember that during voters registration, they were keeping data of all the voters in that constituency. So they have all that information with them. If after this comparing and contrasting, if after this comparison has been done and it matches, these are not just forged signatures or fictitious numbers, the petition passes the authentication stage and then moves to the next stage. But if it doesn't, the process stops here and that petition is flung out of the window. You may ask, what can make this petition fail at the authentication stage? Fake and forged signatures, non-registered voters signing, insufficient number of valid signatures. Remember, I had told you that it is a constitutional requirement that more than 50% of the registered voters in that constituency must sign. So if this number falls short of more than 50%, it fails at the authentication stage. Incorrect details. These are the kinds of things that can make the process come to a halt at the authentication level. But if it scales, it goes to stage 3, the referendum. Fear not. Forget grammar, hapo big English. Now, Oyibo teachers, I would explain to you down to the cocoa. What is a referendum? In simple nomenclature, a referendum is a vote of yes or no. Forget that big English. After scaling the stage of authentication, the INEC is to conduct a referendum. How is this done? What happens here at this stage that seems to be the most crucial and critical stage of this whole recall process? The referendum is like a mini election. The INEC will set a date and then inform the public. They will prepare voting materials. Oh yes, it is not a verbal or oral vote as is done in the house. Those in support say yay, those in support say aye, nay, mbano. It is not Indian film here. It's not a matter of aye and nay. They would prepare election materials and the people will cast their votes. But this time, it's not a vote of APC or PDP or GDP or SPD. No, it's a simple vote of yes or no. Do you want the senator to leave, to be recalled? Yes. Piam. No. Piam. I hope you're following me. If you are understanding what I'm telling you, drop in the comment section and say, yes, Neza, we are following. Because the knowledge of these things are very important. So many of us are following this story on the surface or peripheral level. But I'm here to offer you a deeper understanding. So even in the future, when such a thing comes up, you would have background knowledge of what it is and what it is supposed to be. Let's proceed. Now, for this referendum to scale through, two very crucial, very, very crucial conditions and criteria must be met. First, majority votes. More than half of the people who voted must vote yes to removing the senator. More than half, not half again. These little things matter. More than half of those people that voted on referendum day. I'm not talking about the people that signed petition. I'm talking about on that day that the INEC has scheduled that people come and gather or come and vote. More than half of the people that gathered on that day must have voted yes to have that senator recalled. So if there are 100,000 people gathered on referendum day and 48,000 voted yes to recall the senator, that referendum fails and that recall fails because less than half of the people gave a positive vote. That's the first criteria. The second is the condition on minimum turnout. Relax. I would explain bam, bam, bam for you and make it simple for you to understand. So there is a condition on majority votes that I just explained, and there is a condition on minimum turnout. This second condition states that for the people, for the referendum number to be properly constituted, more than half of the registered voters in that constituency must have turned out and turned up for the referendum. Meaning, if there are 100,000 registered voters, remember I had explained what registered voters are. The people that have their permanent voters card in that constituency, right? If there are 100,000 registered voters in that constituency, on referendum day, at least 50% of these 100,000 people should be there to vote. If voters turn out on referendum day is low, the referendum fails, even if everybody present voted a yes. So if there are 100,000 registered voters and only 30,000 people showed up on referendum day to vote, 30,000 is 30% of 100,000, making it unduly constituted. So even if though every single 30,000 of them voted yes, because the number is not properly and duly constituted, they are not up to 50,000, which is 50% of that constituency formation. Their vote cannot remove the senator, and that is the law. So in a nutshell, what I have been encapsulating, what I have been explaining from start to finish, from petition stage to authentication stage to referendum stage to recall stage is: number one, for the petition to scale in the first place, if that constituency has 100,000 registered voters, more than 50,000 should sign the petition. Because at this stage, the INEC needs to ascertain if there is enough public interest to initiate the recall in the first place. Secondly, at the referendum level, at least 50,000 people on the dot out of these 100,000 registered voters must be on ground to vote. And thirdly, out of this 50,000 people that came out to vote, more than 50% of them, meaning at least 25,001 out of the 50% that came to vote, must vote yes. And please note that these 50,000 people that came on referendum day to vote do not need to be the exact 50,000 same people that signed the petition. Some of them might sign petition and not come for referendum. Some of them might not sign petition and come for referendum. As long as they're registered voters and as long as they make up the required number, it is okay. And if on this referendum day, only 20,000 registered voters showed up to vote that senator out, the law cannot allow a small group or a small number of people remove an elected official. So that referendum will fail and that recall will also fail. So from my explanation so far, It is not a process that is designed to be a walk in the park. It is not an easy and straightforward process. Forget that in Africa, because of corruption, there's nothing corruption does not do. Corruption destroys a perfectly orchestrated and organized process that can protect the people. One person can just touch the right buttons and manipulate the whole system. But the design that we lifted from the Oyibos that taught us all these things was crafted to protect the people. It was intentionally designed to be rigorous, to curtail misuse and abuse. So back to this referendum before we wrap up this video. If the referendum secures majority votes and the required number of people were present, that recall succeeds. The senator is removed and INEC sets up another date for an election that would replace the senator. It may interest you to know that in the history of Nigeria's democracy and politics, since our country returned to democratic rule in 1999, no Nigerian senator has ever been recalled from office. So dear ladies and gentlemen, look me in the eyes. Wo mi lemanya namburanya, and tell me that the people of Kogi Central Senatorial District initiated a recall against their own duly elected senator because she refused to change seats in the Senate, in the House. Are you telling me that the people of Kogi State went through this process and are willing to go through more to remove their senator, their legally voted senator, because she raised her voice in the House? A people that looking at them all lined up there, they don't even know what a recall is. They don't even know that this English I'm speaking exists in the first place. Senates that have seen the worst set of thieves, crooks, criminal, launderers, name it, go through like normalcy without any consequence. It's the same place where a recall was initiated due to non-adherence of Senate standing rules. Please drop your thoughts down in the comment section. So now that we know what this means, what this entails, and the entirety of the process, in our next video, we will go deeper into Senator Natasha's recall. What really happened? How victory was gotten, and why we should not, just not yet, dance so happily yet. Stay glued and do well to subscribe if you're not. Turn on your bell notifications, because I assure you that on here there are lots and lots to learn. If you have learned something in today's video, do drop that heart emoji down in the comment section. And if you're new here, you're seeing me for the first time, or if you've been watching without subscribing, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up, drop all your comments down in the comment section, and stay glued, for we have so much more coming your way. It's me, your girl, Barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye.